Welcome back, everybody, to another Battling Bronco podcast. It's a sad day to be a Broncos fan, as we did not get Aaron Rodgers, Zach, but we did
What?
we did get someone, Russell Wilson, someone like that.
Dude, it is not a sad day.
I'm just kidding, obviously. It's a great day. We have a franchise quarterback, and shook me up a bit. My eyes just about popped out of my eye sockets, if you will.
Yeah,
Didn't think I'd be saying eye sockets on here already, but
me neither.
Zach, we have a franchise quarterback, and we received him for two first rounders, two second rounders, a few players that honestly, out of the players, Fant, Shelby, and Locke, Shelby actually hurt the worst for me. Um,
Yeah, man.
he's your locker room guy, great attitude, and he's good. He's a good football player. Fant, Fant was frustrating to say the least. Just very inconsistent. And I think his play was inconsistent, especially his blocking. But anyway, dude,
Yes.
what a day! No one was expecting this. Um,
What a time to be alive.
hmm Everyone was pretty much expecting Rodgers to go back to Green Bay, which happened, and
Right.
everyone was making fun of how the Broncos missed out. And I think an hour and a
Yep.
half later, if I'm correct, it's when the news broke.
Yeah. George
And
Payton was like, psych.
I was like, this is funny. Someone's retweeting, or Adam Schefter retweeted his own fake account. So, um, Zach,
Hey, I will add. I
yeah,
will add that I believe, we gave a fifth round pick, and we also gained a fourth round pick.
that is correct. So
But
if you were to make this trade happen, which honestly is about what I would expect, I was expecting maybe like one more second round pick in there, or a third round pick, sorry. But I don't know. I feel like both sides got a good deal,
hmm
but the Seahawks don't know how to draft, so
no,
I would say we got the better end of the deal. But still, absolutely insane, and I think Russell Wilson's jersey will be at the top of the charts for sales very soon. So yeah, after the shock
hmm
factor, you kind of think, what's next, right? So we still have three picks in the first three rounds, which is amazing. But now we are in need of a defensive tackle, probably another tight end. I'm not sure how much we want another tight end to match with Albert O, obviously, and obviously a backup quarterback eventually, which could come in the draft. So next steps: throw all your mock drafts away. Plug Seattle there at 9. What do you expect from Seattle at 9? Would you say?
Um, well, you got to think Malik Willis first and foremost.
Right.
They can't be terribly serious about Locke as their starter, and if they are, then Seattle, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry anyway, Seattle, but
Yeah.
not really. Um, I mean, gosh, they could do all sorts of things, but I mean, um, Malik Willis is the first name that comes to mind. Um, really, I don't know where else to go
I mean, so
for them.
they're
Um,
built for a mobile quarterback like Willis, as their offensive line sucks. So he'd have to
they
be
could
on
also do offensive
he'd have to
line,
be
yeah.
on the move a lot. However, as for the Broncos, when what you're getting with Wilson, like Hackett is a very um, it's a route like timing is key in his offense. I don't know how to say that, but timing is key. And Russell Wilson is the type of quarterback that uses his legs a lot to create plays. So I obviously think Russell can do that. He's insanely accurate, especially in the deep ball. I think I told you guys the prettiest deep ball is coming to Denver now. Um, but as for the
Very accurate
yeah,
deep ball.
so as for the Broncos, their first pick I believe is 64, and so you're getting it's
Yes.
actually really prime territory for this year's draft because there are positions that we need that are very deep, including cornerback and edge.
Cough, Chad Muma, cough.
Yeah, in linebacker, obviously. So it's an exciting day. As I'm still kind of speechless, um, and I don't know if you saw the thumbnail, but it was a great thumbnail. It was Russell Wilson in the retro uniform that I wish we would bring back. And it was kind of modernized
So
too.
sexy.
And I kind of stole it. It is not my photo, just so you know, YouTube. It is not my photo. But um,
Disclaimer.
so let me ask you this: we still have a lot of money for free agency, which comes Monday, I believe. You would have thought this bomb would have dropped on Monday. Um, but so who are you desiring? I believe Mike Kliss said that Von Miller is unlikely. Um, I just saw that before this podcast.
Cliff said
Yeah.
that?
So I'm not sure why Von would have said that without, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't like Broncos fans anymore. But
Well, I I believe that Vaughn is genuine in his wanting to come back, especially after Russ, and it would fill a
right,
need. Another name that we recently mentioned was Harold Landry, who the Titans did not tag
yeah,
today. So, assuming he'll be a free agent and that they won't actually sign him to a long term deal, that would be amazing. Opposite Bradley Chubb, would be one of the best pass rush duos in the league. Really, I'm pretty content with our team. Like I alluded to, we need middle linebacker still. I love Chad Muma. Um, Devin Lloyd is now out of the picture, but we at least need some depth at middle linebacker.
um,
So I mean, pick 64 is our first pick now, as you said. I don't think Chad Muma will be there, but to me, it would make sense to draft a linebacker or an edge player. And I mean, I know we trust George Payton, and he knows what he's doing because we still have those picks in the second and third and beyond that.
right,
And it's a deep class. It's not a top heavy class, but it's a deep class, and we can still get some really good players
yeah,
on day two. And so I'm still stoked about the draft. It sucks not to have those picks, but hey, when you get Russell Wilson, you don't really
right.
care.
We'll just
And
make
I mean,
we'll just make better food for that night, since it'll be more boring.
yes, the focus will be on the food for round one. So, I mean, as long as you get Russell Wilson, you're fine.
Right.
But I'm still kind of impressed that we even still have a second round
I
pick for
know.
this year, and then fourth round pick to go with it. So I said this last year, but I trust George Payton's judgment. He is doing phenomenal in
Hmm.
just his second year as GM. He's hitting all the right buttons, in my opinion. Even with the Vaughn trade, I know you like that too. But if he brought Vaughn back, or even signed a Harold Landry, or just one of the top edge guys, that would just kind of everything after this is icing on the cake. Russell is the cake. Everything going forward is icing on the cake. So,
Right.
I
Oh, I
mean,
agree.
you got to think middle linebacker or edge would be the focus, and offensive line depth too to help protect Russell because he's older now. And I mean, he's still mobile, but he doesn't run as much as he used to. So protecting him will be key too.
Yep, I agree. And like you said, it's a deep class, and you're still gonna get a starter caliber player later on in the second and third rounds this year. So, and it's interesting because the Seahawks situation kind of flipped with the Broncos. Like they have Locke now, and we were talking how we could bring in Malik Willis or like a Sam Howell to compete with Locke, and now that is the Seahawks situation. Um, so another name out there for the edge is Ogba. I did read that Miami is going to try their best to um, keep him, but he is wanting to test the market, so we'll see what happens there. And let's talk about our father is asking about replacing Shelby Harris. And I know you both liked Jordan Davis quite a bit. He will not be there when we pick at 64.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I got to go
one,
off camera here for a second, Evan.
okay, I'm gonna be looking at because I did not search. I have not searched any defensive
Any
tackles for.
tackles? No.
Um,
Because you know what? We didn't know we were going to lose Shelby Harris.
we're all learning here. We're all figuring this out together. So, all right, top positions
Oh,
because
remember, you still don't want Chandler Jones, Evan?
he's too. Oh, dude, I did know the defensive tackle I wanted. Akeem Hicks is out there still, and
Oh, okay.
he's still doing good work at age
Yeah, yeah,
32.
yeah, yeah.
You have Calais Campbell next. He's still plugging away at 35, and but it's not a great. It's not great out here. DJ Jones is another good one. He had a good season. You have the run stuffer Linval Joseph, but so um, Peyton likes to fill needs before the draft. He did that last year, which is why we were guessing on who we were going to take in the draft because there really wasn't a need. So it might be less that way this year because
Yeah.
I just don't see how we won't have like a need given the free agency market this year, which is kind of slim for our needs.
Hmm.
But yeah, so you have Akeem Hicks out there. We thought he might be coming with Fuller last year. Um,
Yeah, with Fangio, yeah.
so defensive tackle is slim. We can we can we can still get a cornerback. J.C. Jackson is still in our range. Um, you wouldn't
Gonna have
think
to
we would
spend
need a
top dollar.
quarterback. Yep, and but listen, we have the money and Peyton. I still can't get over just how brilliant Peyton has been. It's like it's amazing how he's set us up still to have a great draft potentially. I mean, we're
Yeah.
not in the Rams situation where we're losing our next five first round picks for players that we've traded. Um, the picks that we do have equals a first round pick still, and with Peyton drafting, you're still getting um, you're still getting like starter caliber players. I mean, look at Jonathan Cooper in the seventh round, who started several games this year.
I mean, we just got awarded the best draft, Evan, in
Right,
his first draft.
right,
But you're right. I love how it's playing out because we don't have any glaring needs anymore, I would say. So all they have to do right now is just focus on the depth, and then they're in a perfect spot to do that, just to fill in the blanks because they basically have everything they need now with Russ at quarterback. You have the elite defense, you have the skill players, so it's working out perfectly, and Peyton knows what he's doing.
right. So this is, I would agree, and this is it's a good free agent cornerback market. So I would expect us to get someone in cornerback market. You mentioned Darius Williams, who we haven't talked about on here before. Um, obviously uh,
Yeah.
his name escapes me, but he worked with our new defensive coordinator, um,
What was his name?
Raheem Morris. No, was it Raheem? No.
It started with an E, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it's not Raheem Morris. Evero was his name.
Yeah, yeah.
So I expect us to go cornerback, maybe defensive tackle. I'm gonna have to start. I haven't gotten the defensive tackles in my draft research yet. I'm gonna have to start doing that. But
Yeah.
this just threw a wrench into everything. I mean, it shook up the entire league. It shook up all the boards that these GMs have been working on for their from draft stuff and all that. But um, and then another thing, which our father brought up, we haven't really been sought after as a in free agency. Players Like in the Peyton days where everyone
Destination.
wanted to come to Denver, and we're going to be getting that back probably. Um, so if we have a comparable offer to some players, they might decide on Denver just because of the Russell Wilson factor now. So
Yep, we're a top contender now. Yeah.
another. So we mentioned edge, we mentioned cornerback, defensive tackle. Looking at backup quarterbacks now down the list here. You have there. You have Colt McCoy. You have Colt McCoy there. He's your classic. Tyrod Taylor's out there. Uh, Brissett. So still backup options, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if we took a flyer on a quarterback later in the draft. Um,
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
but yeah, it's going to be a fun free agency. Kind of livens things up a little bit. And again, we still have a lot of money to spend, so
Yeah.
we can get a stud edge rusher, stud cornerback, whatever have you. So I'm I'm still baffled at the events that transpired today, Zach, and I still
Yes.
feel like I'm gonna wake up soon.
Yep.
But
March 12th, or no, March 8th, 2022, and March 19th, 2012, Evan.
March 18th.
I think it's the 19th,
Okay.
on Monday.
Yep, that was.
Two of the best days in Broncos history, and very similar feelings emotionally
Mhm.
on both days.
Hey, again, I'm glad I stayed home from work this morning recuperating from a bug because I would have been in staff meeting when I got that tweet, and I really don't
Yeah.
know what I would have done. So
Yes, it's going to be it's going to be one of those where were you kind of days.
right. For a Broncos fan. So that'll do it for us at this time. We got our franchise quarterback, everybody, and
Hey, let's predict record, Evan.
right now, seriously,
Yep. Yep.
even
By the
before
way,
free
we
agency.
play in Seattle this season.
Yeah, I mentioned that in our chat.
So he's going to have a revenge game right away.
Yeah. So it's kind of like when Peyton went back to Colts and how we had to deal with that, but with the Colts ultimately winning. All right,
Evan, I'm going to say 10-7.
10-7, really?
Yep.
Come on, man. We just got Russell
And
Wilson.
it 11-6.
That was going to be mine. 11-6.
Just one more win.
Well,
You
it
know,
sounds a lot better than
it's
10-7.
still, and it's still just so weird having to do 17
Right,
games.
at
It
the
still
game.
triggers me.
I was like, Zach, you did that wrong, man. Yeah, I'm used to those 10-6, 11-5 records, but yeah, I
Yes.
will say 11-6. We'll be fighting for the division, I believe. With
Yes. 3 AFC West playoff teams.
could be, dude, could be. And you obviously still have that extra wild card now, so I'll say 11-6. We'll be fighting for the division. I don't think we'll get the division. I'm gonna say that, but I do believe we'll get a wild card. Um, just a new system. Russell Wilson's going to a system he's never played in. Bunch of
Right.
chemistry
We
that's
still got a
needed.
new coaching staff,
Right.
new quarterback.
So, but I do believe we'll be in the playoffs. So that's something. And yeah, so that'll do it for us now. Unless you had any other ideas you wanted to.
It's been 7 years, dude. It's about freaking
I
time.
know.
I'm so stoked.
Thank you, George Payton. Again, thank you for finally doing
Yeah.
something in the front office. So we'll talk free agents next time, probably, which starts Monday. And hopefully we get some good nuggets there. So we will babble at you all next time.
Later.